Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena on a Tuesday, the 15th of April. I'm CJ Baumgartner. No Corey Tackman today. Instead, we got our guy Zeke hopping in. And you know what, Zeke, what would you say? Upgrade, downgrade, lateral move? What do we think today?
Definitely a downgrade. I mean, the guy gave away Twins tickets on his morning show today with the keyword Ty France, and then just bounces.
I know. He surrendered as quickly as the French. So, it's a real pity.
Out of here.
It's a real shame. We got to power the Morning Sports Desk today. First off, let's talk a little bit about this game we have today on our broadcast schedule. Superstation K-106, 105.9 FM, streaming online at WadenaRadio.com or the Superstation K-106 mobile app. It's Pillager at Wadena Deer Creek softball from the Wadena Deer Creek softball field, just off the Wadena Deer Creek middle high school campus off Highway 29. These two teams, Zeke, weirdly enough, it's April 15th, but this is the second meeting between these two teams this season. These two teams played back on March 31st, and Wadena Deer Creek was able to come away with, I believe, a 3-1, 4-1 victory somewhere in that line for both of those teams' first games of the season. And one, it's impressive. Two, that they got a game in. One, it's impressive that they got a game in March. And two, it's impressive that they're getting both conference games in on different days, but both before April 14th, right?
Yeah, you got to schedule games you can schedule. You got to play who you got to play, but it's weird that you're playing a team twice already. But let's play it and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I think the same thing. Wadena Deer Creek baseball played Parker's Prairie last week, and now they have to play them again this week. Which, the schedule shakes out how the schedule shakes out. But I think they're like, you know what? As long as we don't have to play double headers, we are all good. So that is the big thing. Wadena Deer Creek softball trying to get in the win column again. They got a victory over Parker's Prairie on Friday, and in that game, Montana Karsten was able to come away with her 100th career hit. So that's a pretty cool achievement there for her to hit. And now trying to get 101, 102, 103, and so on and so forth throughout tonight's game. And of course, Pillager having a nice little start to the season as well. Just two teams, again, trying to feel things out in the early going. Pillager kind of keeping that steady improvement on the program. I believe, I'm forgetting her name, but I believe it's a first-year head coach this year for the Pillager Husky program. And I believe there's a BSU connection. I can't remember where I saw that. But yeah, no, it's a lot of things happening here in the Park Region Conference early in the season. And we'll see what happens. 4:15 pregame, 4:30 first pitch to this afternoon. Kind of used to the winter sports brain where I keep saying tonight. Nope, this afternoon. We got to get it. We got to get it in. And you know what? Much better than yesterday, where Wadena Deer Creek and a lot of other schools across the region had their games postponed because it was a little wet, but also mainly it was just cold and windy and cloudy and not fun. So
no fun to be outside. Yeah, my son wanted to hit the outdoor rink yesterday. Wanted to get some inline skate time and shoot some pucks. And I said, no, we are not going to the outdoor rink today. You may want to go out there, but I don't want to sit out there and watch you.
I'll sit in the car and just
kind of library instead. Yeah.
You got to try and plug the book anytime we can,
Exactly.
Well, and based off the way we're going to talk about the Twins, you'll have maybe a couple more admissions to add to you got a second volume coming soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that point. First off, let's get in a better mood by talking about the good folks at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. They want you to leave them a review. They want you to help them out. If you're a fan of the Pizza Ranch, and look, I know you are. There's no reason to hide it. I don't know why you would. But when the last time you went there, you really enjoyed your visit. I know I did. I was there over the weekend, and it was so quick. They were picking up your plates, the staff was. They were making sure fresh pizza was out there all the time, taking care of everything. It was busy when we were in there on a Saturday afternoon, and just couldn't be more happy with how the staff was. They were always friendly, always smiling, always doing that great stuff. And you know what? If that was your experience, and I'm sure it was, leave them a review. It helps out greatly, and it just helps other people know what to look forward to when you go to the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go to the Facebook page, Pizza Ranch FunZone Arcade in Wadena on Facebook, and just click the link. It only takes a few seconds, and leave your review for the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. You can talk about the pizza, you can talk about the staff, you can talk about the chicken, you can talk about the mashed potatoes, the ice cream, you can talk about the salad bar, or you can just go on and on and on about the FunZone Arcade and the mystery jerseys that you can win. I know we gave away we unboxed and gave away an autographed Boston Red Sox Wade Boggs jersey, which was so cool. And, you can go to the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade and win your own mystery jersey and then leave a review and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I won this autographed mystery jersey. That's so cool. All of that you can do along with stuff in your face full of some great pizza, great mashed potatoes, great chicken, great salad bar, great desserts, all of that good stuff at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go check them out. All right, Zeke. Let's talk first a little Minnesota Twins because we want to bum ourselves out. They lose again yesterday, and I just got a couple Twins stats to pull your way. But first, Zeke, vibe check. How you feeling? You good? You not good?
We're not in last place. Actually, are we in last place? I didn't check the standings this morning.
Oh boy.
We were half a game ahead of Chicago yesterday for last place. How awful is it that it's April 15th and I'm watching the
Twins are tied 5.5 games out of first place with the Chicago White Sox. The Twins have a slightly better winning percentage at .294.
Yeah.
Compared to the White Sox 267. The Twins are 5-12 right now. The White Sox are 4-11. The Kansas City Royals are 8-9. The Cleveland Guardians are 8-7, and the Detroit Tigers are 10-6. And Detroit fans are getting so smug, the city may crumble into the earth. And you know what? That's fine. Why do we let Detroit fans have nice things? The Pistons are good. The Lions are good. The Tigers are off to a quick start. And if the Red Wings end up being good somehow, I just can't take it, Zeke. I can't.
Well, look how those ended. I mean, Anthony Edwards stole the 3-point crown from Malik Beasley on Sunday afternoon. The Detroit Lions, they lost all their coordinators, so they're going to be awful this year. I mean, they can't hold a candle to what KOC is building down at US Bank Stadium. And the Tigers, I mean, let them have April. We'll take May, June, July, August, September, and October. They can have April. Yes,
exactly. Detroit doesn't deserve nice things as sports city wise. So no, but the Minnesota Twins, here are a couple stats courtesy of Aaron Gleben of The Athletic.
Oh, no.
The Minnesota Twins are 5-12, tied for the worst record in team history through 17 games. Feeling better?
Nope.
Well, here's this one. The Twins lineup is batting .203 with a .601 OPS, on base plus slugging. Both are the second worst marks in team history through 17 games. The lineup, and this is the cherry on top, Zeke, the lineup has scored 2 runs or fewer 9 times, the most in team history through 17 games.
The good news is I did go to a game last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and they scored 7 runs in that one.
Yeah, did they win that one?
They did not. They were up 7-1 in that one, though. And they lost 9-7 in extra innings to Houston. But the sun was shining, and it was a beautiful day for baseball.
And honestly, isn't that why you go to Target Field? I mean, you don't actually go for the baseball. No, you go because because there's good food and it's a great atmosphere, and you just bring the old kiddos to the ballpark. I mean, you don't actually need to put a good baseball team on the field for people to show up to the ballpark. It's Target Field. It's a great place to be. What are we, fans will come. Look at it. Fans filled the stadium in 2011, 2012, 2013, even 2014. People wanted to go see Target Field because it was so great. And the Minnesota Twins announced yesterday's attendance was 10,240 fans at Target Field. That is the lowest announced attendance in the history of Target Field, aside from COVID-impacted seasons.
Oh, no.
Okay, it gets even better, Zeke.
Okay.
All this according to Aaron Gleeman of The Athletic. It was the lowest announced attendance for any Minnesota Twins home game since when? Guess.
Oh, gee. I'm going to say 19. when was that really bad one? 1981.
Not that far away.
Not that far out? Okay.
It was the lowest announced attendance for any Minnesota Twins home game since April 30th, 2002 at the Metrodome. Which, again, they were still freshly coming off the contraction
stuff. Yeah.
And opening day vibes have gone away by that point. Now, the Twins ended up being really good that year, and the Twins' attendance over the next, 10 years got really, really good.
Millions.
Yeah, Now, would there have been a reason people have wanted to go to Twins games? Might it have been because the team was good?
The team was winning. They were winning a lot. Well, back then you could win 87 games in the AL Central and win the division for 91 wins. That's what the Twins were doing. But
they did them.
The playoffs, yeah.
But they did them. There was also, I saw a post by a Twins fan account. And I just want to bring it up because I resonate with this. I resonate with this one a lot. So here is what this post is. This comes courtesy of the X account Twins Central. And he said, a year and a half ago, this was Target Field. And the Twins ended their playoff losing streak. Less than a year and a half later, the Twins have the lowest Target Field attendance against the Mets with under 11,000 fans. Well done, Pohlads. Impressive to make a fan base apathetic that quickly. And I mean, let's be honest.
A Minnesota fan base where we're already super apathetic to begin with. It's in our blood.
I mean, come on. This team had the best postseason in franchise history, or in franchise in the 21st century, outside of 2002, right? This was a big moment for the franchise. It was huge. And the morale for Twins baseball had never been higher. I was at both of those games. Those were the best sporting events I'd ever been to in my entire life. You could hear the fans chanting and the way the wind swirls at Target Field. You could hear it up and into the ether. It was amazing. I've been to Vikings games that were pretty emotional and entertaining and great. Nothing compared to what that playoff Twins atmosphere was like. Those fans were so ready for a winner, and they got him. And the Pohlads immediately cut payroll, took the team away off TV. They then proceeded to botch the messaging 6 ways from Sunday on both the TV and the payroll. They looked at payroll's going down, but you're going to be able to watch the Twins. No blackout restrictions. Here you go. Oh, we're going back to Bally because they gave us $50 million. By the way, we don't want you to see how much money we're making, so us and Bally agreed to not disclose how much money they're giving us this year. But we're still cutting payroll. We are still cutting payroll. We got to right-size the payroll. Look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay wins all the time when they have a short payroll, despite the fact that Tampa Bay wins in spite of a payroll, because when you took the guy who ran Tampa Bay, he went to the Dodgers. And what are the Dodgers right now? Turns out you can be like the Tampa Bay Rays and spend a little bit and be pretty good. Anyway, botch the messaging. Twins baseball felt like they were going to power through it last year. And then mid-August, of course, they have the collapse. They fall out of a playoff spot. They do nothing again over the winter. It just was nothing. It's not even the fan base was mad last year. They were mad about the payroll cut. They were mad about all of that stuff. And like you said, this year now it's just apathy. People don't they just don't care, because they've never given them a reason to care. And this is the thing about the Pohlads. I think, the grandfather, old Carl Pohlad, or the father of the business, probably a good enough businessman, whatever. Obviously, he accrued his wealth. He did whatever in that time. And then it was handed down to the kids. And now it's handed down to the grandkids. And again, this is all speculation. I'm not reporting anything. This is all just their businesses in the cities with owning radio stations went under. Other businesses they had post-COVID have gone under. And again, speculation. I am not reporting anything. I am not saying this is a fact. But circumstantially, it looks like they're trying to sell the Twins because they need some money in the bank account to hold on to some other asset. They are selling the team, and I think they will sell the team because they need to sell it, because they are ruining some of their other businesses. And if you look at how they run the Twins, it's not even like they got to run it like a business because they're savvy business people. And they've proven they are not savvy business people. And at the very least, they are horrible marketers. Like their messaging on issues, their way to communicate things to the fan base, their way to communicate injuries to the fan base, over the last few years, like all of it, Zeke, it just is. I don't like a lot of complaining about the Twins and the fan base. And I think some of it gets a little played out, but also after the last, 16 months, 20 months, there's no defending anything they've done.
Yeah, and it's kind of a mirror effect here. I'm a book plug here. I just finished my second book about the Washington Senators, and it's very similar to what happened with Clark Griffith, who brought the team up, built a World Series champion in 24. They won the pennant in 25, wanted to get in 33. And Clark Griffith, he was a Hall of Fame executive, was a pretty good pitcher back in the 1800s too. He built it up. He knew what guys he wanted. He brought in Ozzie Bluege to manage. He knew Walter Johnson. He knew Bucky Harris would be a good 26-year-old manager. Knew all that. And then when he died, he gave it over to his nephew, Cal, who didn't do much of it. We know the Cal Griffith story and how terrible the Twins were in the 70s, despite having Carew. He chased Rod Carew out of town. He drove Harmon Killebrew to sign a 1-year contract with the Royals in the early 70s, and just awful. And then he sold the team to Carl Pohlad. They won 2 championships in the span of 4 years. And then Pohlad goes through what he did and built the Winners back up. And then he hands the keys to his offspring, and things not going too well. We kind of saw it with the New York Yankees, with George Steinbrenner passing and giving it to his kids. The difference is the Yankees spend all the money they want.
Right.
They have unlimited resources. They get upset when they get outbid for Juan Soto, who's playing the Twins again, hit a home run against the Twins for the Mets last night. And that's the difference is because New York they were off for a couple of years there too, where they can kind of hide some of their mistakes because they can just go drop $600 million the following offseason.
The prospect we've been developing is kind of flopping. Let's just go trade for Giancarlo Stanton. Let's just go trade for Juan Soto. Let's just go
bring in Garrett Cole. Let's
Right, exactly. Like that's how you
do Aaron Judge. Yeah.
And look,
the Twins don't have those resources. Or maybe they did, but they don't anymore because everything else is going under and they have to bail water out of the lawn.
Well, don't worry. It was reported that the Twins have $425 million in debt to operating the team, which isn't uncommon for a team to have debt, according to The Athletic. But it is uncommon that the Twins are one of the highest in debt at $425 million, which felt like a Pohlads are getting this information out there to go, guys, like we have to sell the team for this number. We're in debt. Oh, the billionaire family's in debt. Oh, sorry. Like you're not going to make Joe from St. Cloud, who's paying a mortgage, trying to grind his 9 to 5, feel bad about you as he's reading the Star Tribune that next day. Like what? Yep. What are you? Nice.
Sorry.
Again, messaging. They're just horrible at it. They're horrible. I don't know. Whatever. It's not going to change. This whole fan, there's just a malaise. Like everybody keeps going, the Twins got to fire Rocco. And look, I don't hate Rocco Baldelli. I don't think firing Rocco Baldelli really fixes anything. I think it, like the Nuggets firing Mike Malone. Does it really do anything? No. Will it give you like a week of like they're doing something, or like will it kick your players in the keister for a week? Maybe, but the next week they're going to go right back to just being what they were before. So like, and like last year when the Wild hired John Hines, it's like they're going to figure it out. Like look at this, and then they went back to being the Wild team that dug themselves the hole and got Dean Evison fired. Like that's how firings work. So it's not going to turn anything around. And whatever. But if you want to fire Rocco, whatever. I'm not married to that guy. Like, fine. It's not going to fix anything. And also, they're just not going to fire him. They're not going to fire Falvey right now. They're not going to fire Jeremy Zoll, the new GM. Like, they are stuck right now because if you're the Pohlads, one, you don't care. You're trying to sell the team. You are on autopilot. You are like the senior who just needs to finish that one class and then he's done. Like, you're just coasting, putting in bare minimum. And if you're the front office, you're not going to fire the manager right now. because one, you need to get approval from ownership, and two, ownership is not going to want to pay a manager to sit at home. If the Poleads are in debt and they're pinching pennies, they're going to want a guy they're paying to show up to work and do stuff. That's just how they operate. I don't know. I feel like the whole, we got to fire Rocco and that's going to fix things. Like, it's for fans who think that just firing Rocco is going to fix things, or fans that like are just a little more casual. And I'm not saying that as a slight, like, oh, you're just casual. Like, it's just like it's very simplistic. The Twins have much deeper issues than Rocco Baldelli right now. The Twins have much deeper issues than like just calling up Luke Keeschel from St. Paul. Honestly, you should probably just let him sit there for a while and stay away from the suckage that is happening at Target Field right now. Don't call up Emmanuel Rodriguez. Don't call up some of the pitchers who haven't made their, like, leave them in St. Paul. Let them cook because this year might be a lost year. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like they can't make any moves because they're waiting until ownership changes, and ownership's not going to want to fire anybody until whatever. They don't want to be on the hook for that. So I don't know. Like, all of this is just to say, like, they're just stuck. They had 2 throwing errors again by the pitchers last night, Zeke. Like, I don't know what's going on. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, and they got 1 run on a sacrifice fly by Christian Vasquez. Like, there's just nothing. There's nothing to be excited about. There's Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa are struggling to begin the year. Twins pitching has been good. They've been good. But as we told you earlier, the offense is so bad, it doesn't matter. It's like 2023. The offense was so bad that you would get that the Twins would lose games like 3-1, and everybody'd yell at Rocco about the bullpen decisions. And it's like, yeah, we can debate bullpen decisions all you want. Your lineup, you can't win when your lineup only scores 1 run. Like, so I don't know. They're just stuck. They're just stuck.
Yeah, I mean, maybe eventually it'll get so bad that the Poleads will show, hey, we're invested. We're gonna get rid of Rocco and light a fire. But is David Popkins going to be the answer? Because that's who's going to get the job.
They fired him last year.
Is he not back?
No, the hitting coach. No, they fired him.
Oh, who got ejected against the
Jace Tingler, maybe.
Jace Tingler, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
He used to manage the Dodgers. Yeah. I mean, Jace Tingler would be the next step, but like, how
my point is proven. Yeah. They're cut from the same cloth. They're both the analytics guys. It's going to be the same deal. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. To appease fans, and then we'll just find something else to complain about.
Exactly. Like,
that's what we do.
Twins fire Rocco Baldelli today, that all of a sudden attendance is going to double? No, the people are going to go, "What took you so long to fire him?" Like, the team nothing's going to change until they win. This team. And I understand the contract hasn't gone as well, but this team went out and signed Carlos freaking Correa, and this fan base won't stop complaining about how he was their 3rd choice. I don't care. Like, I can't tell you how much little that bothers me as a fan. I don't care. I don't care. And now maybe I care a little based on how the contract is going for him hitting. But like, just the fan base finds all of the weirdest reasons to hate players. Who is the most likable Twin right now? Like, who on this team is like beloved by the fan base? Because like a couple of years ago, it was like Luis Ariz, obviously, like that was the guy.
Traded him.
And they traded him. And Pablo Lopez is probably one of the more likable guys on the team, but because he was traded for Ariz, the fan base will never forgive him because that was his decision. Like,
yeah, I'd almost say like Harrison Bader.
Maybe Joe Ryan.
Because he's handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Ty France just won Player of the Week.
Yes, he did. Oui.
I can't. Cole Sands, final answer.
Yeah. I feel like it's got to be Duran, probably. Yeah. Just because the closer gets all the attention, and Joe Nathan was really big. So like long-term fans like, who's our closer? Oh, he's pretty, like he throws really hard. He's got the cool entrance. Like,
it's got to be because there's
this is a conversation for a different day, but I feel like just needs to be brought up into the ether. Let's say the season goes south, the Twins don't recover, and they're sellers at the deadline. It's not out of the realm of possibility the Twins trade Joe Ryan or Bailey Ober.
Absolutely not.
Because they're starting pitchers, so they're valuable. So teams that don't want to pay for them will trade for them.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, they have multiple years of team control still left. They're good. And also, the Twins do have a lot of starting pitching depth to the point where, like, if you're out of it at the deadline, you have Zebby Matthews, you have David Festa, you have Simeon Woods-Richardson continuing to do well, you have Marco Raya, you have, like, some of those other guys, Corey Lewis, you have some of those other guys, like, in St. Paul. And the Saints' rotation has been great to start the year. Like, again, starting pitchers always get hurt. So, like, it's kind of day by day with them. But there is a chance that, like, you kind of have to make room for them anyway. Trade them and get a haul. And, like, how depressing is that for coming into the season? It's like co-favorites to win the division, according to Vegas, and you're selling off young, controllable assets because
you're second and third guys in the rotation.
Oh, and also, here's the third reason. They're going to make a lot of money in arbitration. And if the Pohlads are still going to be owning and pinching pennies,
they're gone anyways.
They're gone. The Twins, by the way, lowest payroll since they were in the Metrodome. Like, if you adjust for inflation and adjust to how the league has changed, like payroll-wise, like everybody's paying more, the Twins are like in the middle of the 90s Metrodome days.
Yeah, it's unreal. Even with the Buxton and Correa contracts.
They just decided that was it. It's the Colorado Rockies. They pay Chris Bryant and nobody else. And nobody. It's the I'm just gonna call them Oakland. It's the Oakland A's. Yeah. They paid Luis Severino and they signed Brent Rooker to an extension, and then they went there. Stop yelling at us.
Fill in the blanks.
I'm gonna
those 2 guys have been good though. Those 2 guys have been great.
They have been great, so that has been helpful for them. But it just wasn't the whole point of this is just a bunch of Twins ranting. We'll talk about some other stuff, I promise. But I just wasn't the whole point of Target Field. They were going to be able to increase payroll. And then you just basically go back to the Metrodome, except now the Pohlads can flip the team for a higher number because of the real estate of the stadium.
Yeah, 100%. That was the long game. I mean, they signed Mauer to the big contract. I don't remember if it was before he won the MVP or after.
It was like the year after. Yeah.
So they were able to do that and pay him. Sweet statue, by the way, outside gate 34.
Sweet statue.
For as bad as his Hall of Fame plaque looks, the statue is awesome.
The statue is awesome.
It is so good. But you look at other circumstances, and the Twins have not been good since they moved to Target Field. I mean, 2 playoff wins since 2010.
Three, because they got one.
They got one against the Astros. I forgot that. Yeah,
you forget that because Sonny Gray decided to completely nuke the Twins' playoff chances by allowing as many home runs in one game as he did all regular season.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah, it's not been
not been fun. Not been a fun time to be a Twins fan recently. So until new ownership. Oh, and by the way, we were mentioning this before the show. The White Sox have made it official that Jerry Reinsdorf is still the controlling owner, but Matt and Justin Ishbia of old friends of potential Minnesota Twins owners have now increased their share. They went from owning 1% of the Chicago White Sox to 35% of the Chicago White Sox. So I hope they run it like they run the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. What kind of world do we live in where owning the Chicago White Sox is more pleasing than owning the Twins?
Real estate.
Yeah, I guess that's Chicago real estate. Yeah, that's true.
Chicago, and they're going to build they'll build a new stadium.
Yeah, U.S. Cellular is a dump.
It's a dump, and the city of Chicago doesn't want to deal with Reinsdorf. So when the Ishbias take over, they'll do a lot better job schmoozing, and they'll get a nice new stadium, and then they'll actually spend money on the White Sox, and they won't, after the White Sox win a World Series, go to the camera and go buy Bulls tickets, which is just my funniest Jerry Reinsdorf thing. Yeah. The White Sox win the World Series for the first time in like 100 years, and he just goes, buy Bulls tickets. Like, come on, man. Anyway, Minnesota Wild play tonight. They have a chance to back into the playoffs. Zeke, what is kind of these scenarios looking like here?
Win and you're in. That's all we're worried about tonight. You don't want to worry about what St. Louis is doing. You don't want to worry about what Calgary's doing. Win a game in regulation. It can be an overtime. It can be a shootout. The Wild can lose in overtime and still make the playoffs tonight. But you gave up 7 goals to San Jose. Not a great look. You were down 2-0 to Vancouver the other night and found a way to win that one, which maybe that was the shot in the arm that the Wild needed. And now you've got a Ducks team a couple games below 500, nothing to play for. You look at the other teams, St. Louis, they are playing I think they're playing Seattle tonight, and Calgary is playing Vegas, a team that I think has locked up the number 1 seed on that side of the bracket, so they've got nothing to play for. Yeah, so you've got Wild and Ducks, and really the intriguing storyline here, other than the return of a whole bunch of guys. Kaprizov is back, had 2 goals, the game winner against San Jose. Jules Eriksson had 4 goals in that San Jose win. I think Spurgeon should be back tonight. He took a puck to the neck the other night and couldn't breathe. That was a scary situation. Yeah. Jake Middleton, they're saying, is going to be back. If those guys are back, it'll be the first time that like the Wild's top 3 lines have played together and been healthy since like before Christmas. Ugh. They've just been patching things together. And the good news is Zeev is here. Zeev Buium is in the building, expected to get a lot of minutes and have some significant ice time for this team, not just tonight, but in that first round playoff series, whether it's against Vegas, whether it's against the Winnipeg Jets, depending on how things unfold. Basically, if the Wild lose tonight in regulation, Calgary has to win out, I think, to stay alive, because I think Calgary has 2 games left. Tonight's the last Wild game. St. Louis is in more trouble than the Wild, because the Wild have 1 more point than the Blues right now. It's ridiculous. I saw a tweet that the Golden State Warriors were 23-8 after the Jimmy Butler trade, and they're in the play-in. Could be similar for the St. Louis Blues. They just rattled off a 12-game winning streak, and they're still in danger of missing the playoffs outright if they lose tonight and Calgary wins. So there's still a lot of action at the bottom of the wild card standings. Everyone else is locked and resting and stuff. It's Colorado, it's Winnipeg, it's Dallas, it's Edmonton, it's Vegas. I forget who the second team in the Pacific is, but it won't matter until the next round of the playoffs for the Wild anyways. But you're
Kings.
Who?
Kings? Oilers?
Kings? Oh, yeah. Kings, Oilers, Knights sounds right. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the Pacific because we've been sweating it out here as the Wild slide and deal with injuries and things like that in the wild card. So beat Anaheim tonight, and you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Just winning in, bliss or miss. Like, let's just do this thing, or just get to overtime. You don't even have to win. Just
Same strategy against Calgary last week. It was a win, and you don't have to worry about what we're worried about right now. And they lost 4-2 or something like that. Had a players only meeting, and
how many players only meetings has it been this year? Like 5?
Too many. Too many for a team that's trying to sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, probably. If they win, they would play the Knights in the first round. Is that kind of what it's looking like, or is it still a couple things that is it pretty guaranteed like that?
Yeah, more than likely it'll be Vegas. Still outside chance that it's Winnipeg, but if they win tonight, it'll be Vegas, I think.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. So there you go. Go Wild. Tell us, who is Zeev? Tell us a little bit about that guy.
Zeev is the savior. Zeev Buium, he fell to the 12th overall pick in last year's draft. I think this season. Well, last year he should have been way higher than he was taken. He led the Denver Pioneers to the NCAA title, led them back to the Final Four this year. They lost to eventual champion Western Michigan. Which congrats Mustangs, first ever championship there. WCHA is or NCHC, WCHA, whatever they're called now. Yeah,
another Michigan sports thing that's got to go good for them.
I know it. No, Zeev, he and Brock Faber are going to control the blue line in Minnesota for the next decade. I mean, as good as Brock Faber has been, Zeev is cut from the same cloth, and he is going to be awesome. Whereas Brock Faber he's a defensive minded defenseman. Zeev reminds me a lot of what Matt Dumba was when Matt Dumba came out. He's a defenseman that also has a knack for scoring the puck when he needs to. I think I have it pulled up here. He scored the most points. Here it is. Zeev Buium will leave Denver as the highest scoring U20 defenseman in the last 45 years of NCAA action. Dang. In 83 games at Denver, he had 98 points, 24 goals, 74 assists.
Is that good?
That is very good. That is, like I said, I have no idea how this guy fell to 12. Bill Guerin saw it, took him, and now we buckle up. He's going to play a lot tonight. Where's number 8? And you don't give number 8 to a guy who's going to bounce back and forth between Iowa for the next handful of years. You give number 8 to a guy who's going to be a cornerstone of this franchise. In defensive pairing, I mean, like I said, Faber and Bouillon on that blue line for the next 10, 15 years. Yeah, it's going to be good.
That'll play. I remember it was a couple of years ago when Brock Faber got done playing for the Gophers and jumped right in at the end. And again, while the Wild couldn't get out of the first round, he jumped right in the playoffs, and you were like, oh, that guy can skate. Like, he can skate with them. Like, that guy looks like he belongs on an NHL ice. And hopefully the same thing there. So good. It was kind of Wild fans waiting for Denver to lose, because Jimmy Snugger with the Gophers, he's jumped right in with the St. Louis Blues. There have been a couple other guys that have jumped right in. And if you can have one of those guys that can come up and contribute right away, especially for a playoff push, it's nice to have, especially with the lack of defensive depth that the Wild have had here. And injuries, Spurgeon went out. Declan Chisholm took a hard hit into the boards the other night. Jake Middleton's been banged up. So if you're bringing up a stud rookie defenseman, it's more than welcome on the Wild right now. Yeah, exactly. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, now wrapping up our show today, they get the Los Angeles Lakers. Me and Corey talked a little bit about that yesterday, but overall, how confident are you on a 1 to 5 scale? 5 being super confident, 1 being like we're getting swept. How are you feeling about this series?
If I see one more Shannon Sharp Lakers in 5, I'm gonna jump into Dower Lake. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of what the media is pouring out there, that the Lakers they're the 3 seed. They're so much better than Minnesota. The Lakers won 50 games. The Wolves won 49. The Wolves won like 18 of their last 23 games. I mean, you take away the 2 Obi Toppin games. You take away the meltdown against Milwaukee.
The meltdown in Milwaukee. That's a great name for the game.
Thank you.
And this is of 26 with Julius Randle in the lineup, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. If the Wolves don't be dumb and lose those games, they're the 3. They might be the 2 seed, because there is not much difference between 3 and 8. It's like a game, two games at most between where the Lakers are and where the Memphis are.
I mean, you talk about the Warriors have to deal with. The Wolves went, I think, 18 and they went something like 18 and 10 over their final 28 games, and they moved and it took them like the last 2 months of the year to get out of the play-in. It was the first time they were in a 6 seed or higher since before Christmas. Like, that's how long it took them to dig themselves out of the Western Conference, because that is that dense this year. And, kind of looking at some of the other playoff matchups, would you have wanted to play Denver? They kind of would have wanted revenge for last year. You're still playing Jokic. Like, that's still a tough matchup. The Clippers are clicking. Like, they are really tough right now. That game against
Kawhi is back.
Kawhi
is on the horizon. Yep.
Harden is there. He feels like he's got some form. Like, that wouldn't have been a team I would have wanted to. I mean, whatever. I think the Wolves would have beat them, but maybe avoid that one. And of course, you got the Warriors thrown in there. You have the Grizzlies thrown in there. You have whatever. I'm not scared of the Lakers. I mean, it's revenge for Luka from last year. Yeah. Revenge just against LeBron in general. You have revenge for the play-in game from a couple years ago. You have revenge from moving the Minneapolis Lakers to Los Angeles, a city with 0 lakes. And this is for Bud Grant. This is for George Mikan. This is for take your pick. This is for the players that would play down at the Armory in Minneapolis.
Yeah, this is for 03-04 Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, another one.
This is it's what do you think is kind of the big keys to the matchup here? Is it Ant just going off? Is it going to be like the fact that the Wolves can play bully ball with the Lakers? Is it the Lakers going small? Is it like what is going to be the key thing in this series to watch?
I think it'll be matchups for sure, and how the Wolves the Wolves are built big. I mean, you've got Rudy and you've got Naz. The Lakers aren't built big. I mean, you remember back at the trade deadline, they tried to swing that deal with Charlotte, and the deal fell through. They were going to get a center in that deal from the Hornets, and it didn't happen. I think I think on paper right now, the Wolves are better than the Lakers. The national media is slowly starting to realize that, because before, when the matchup was first announced, everything on my algorithm everywhere was, Lakers in 5, Lakers in 6, Lakers.
I mean, they're predicted the Lakers win.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 predicted the Lakers in 5 or more games. And I think real slowly, I mean, I've had more stuff pop up, and Los Angeles is realizing, oh no, Minnesota is a very good, well-balanced team. They're in the top 10, both offensively and defensively, where last year they weren't as good offensively. They were really good defensively. You swing Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle, and that kind of evens out a little bit where the defense falls, but the offense much better. I mean, you mentioned the stat, the Wolves are like 21-4 the last 25 games that Big Jew has played in. And you look at just depth for the Wolves, and you have to give depth to them every single time. I think the one thing that should scare Wolves fans, and this will be a big topic over the next week or so, is how does the whistle affect this one? Because you've got Luka, and the way that Luka draws fouls. You've got LeBron, and the way that LeBron has got the whistle for the last 20 plus years.
That clip of Jalen Clark like waving his arm past Matt Reeves, whatever his name is.
Austin Reeves.
Yep. Matt Reeves, Keanu Reeves, Austin Reeves, doesn't matter. Wolves.
Lakers in 5. Yeah, so the whistle will be huge, and I mean, obviously Luka is playoff tested. LeBron's been to the championship series 10 times or whatever it is, and LeBron is still LeBron. He's still putting up great numbers, but there's nothing that Adam Silver would love to see more than Braun and Bronny holding that Larry O'Brien trophy together at the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
So on paper, the Wolves I have Wolves in 5. I think they come out slow in 1, or something stupid happens, or someone gets ejected because Anthony Edwards is still Anthony Edwards, had the tech rescinded, and they needed those 43 points against Utah, because I don't think the Wolves win that game if Ant doesn't play. Then they could be playing Memphis or Golden State, depending on in the play-in. But yeah, I think maybe I'm overconfident. Maybe it's just the high and the short-term memory of the fluke against Milwaukee. I think ideally, I texted you guys this. If the Wolves can go through LeBron, if they can go through Steph, if they can go through Jokic and go through Boston for a title, that'd be like years of franchising confidence to get like the most like murderers row. Love it.
Run. That would be that would be insane.
Yeah, I think the Wolves can do it. They're probably the most dangerous 6th seed in NBA playoff history. I'll just say that.
I would put money on that. It is people look at like, oh, they were the 6th seed. Like, I think weirdly, because NBA fans look at the seeding versus like the actual record, because a lot of NBA fans are just box score watchers or like TikTok highlight watchers. So especially like
people watching the Wolves from afar. Yeah.
People are like, oh, well, Luka owned Gobert last time, so they're just going to do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? The reason that they didn't double Luka on that big shot was because they were guarding him well enough. They felt like they didn't need to double him. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, Luka made a shot from the logo with Rudy Gobert's hand in his face. How is he supposed to play better defense?
Yeah.
Like, that's not Luka put him on skates and took him to the cup and lost him. And it's like a good defender put his arm up against a good shooter, and the good shooter won that shot.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. Yep. But it's not like they embarrassed Gobert. What happened was Lively and some of the other guys around were just getting endless lobs, and the Wolves didn't know how to compensate for that. There's nobody like that on the Lakers team. And yeah, Luka, maybe he's the best player in this series. Ant's number 2. Then LeBron's number 3. But then after that, it's Randall,
Gobert, Randall, McDaniels,
Nas, like
yeah.
I'm sorry, the Lakers.
Luka Garza, put Luka Garza in there too, man.
Put him in there. Why not? Luka versus Luka.
Why not?
If we want Luka to score 70 points, Doncic, not Garza.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of how that shakes out there. So, Wolves play Saturday night, 7:30 tip off. ABC, ESPN, one of those two will be the site. I just can't tell you how disappointed I am that in the early 2010s, the NBA final or like the NBA playoff presentation on ESPN was so cinematic. and it feels like they just don't try as much anymore until like the finals. Like before, like the music, the graphics packages, the way that they would show the arenas was like so cool. When you like look at old, like if you just go to YouTube and watch an old game, watch a game from the 2012 Thunder playoff run in the first round, not the finals. Like it's so cinematic and cool. I miss it. So anyway, I look forward to everybody talking about LeBron and Luka for the next 2 weeks. So that'll be fun. Yeah. That'll be fun. Either that or Anthony Edwards beats both of them and his legacy continues. Lakers fans are like, oh, well, they think Ant's going to break out. He scored 16. He averaged 16 points against us when he played in the regular season. Forget that one of the games he got suspended halfway through, so he definitely would have been higher.
Brought the numbers down.
He got kicked out. Those are rookie numbers. He brought down the numbers. And also, the Suns said the same thing last year against Ant, and then Ant averaged 30 points in the playoffs per game. And
I would expect something similar. He's ready to take that next step.
Playoff Dante DiVincenzo. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. That's another guy we forgot off of our list. DiVincenzo.
It's okay, LeBron. It's that cowherd bit. It's okay, LeBron. Yeah. We don't need you. We got Dante DiVincenzo. We don't need you. We got Jalen. We got Terrence Shannon Jr.
It's okay, Rui Hachimura. You take a break this series. You're good.
No, LeBron. You're good. We got Ben Simmons. I always remember that.
Who's also in the playoffs for the Clippers. I forgot he was on the Clippers until the game against.
Feels like everybody's there except for the Brooklyn Nets and Durant. Darn shame. Darn shame.
Hate to see it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for me. CJ, there's Zeke over there. It's the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.